Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the All Genre Music Fest. And we've got quite the plethora of people sitting down to talk to you today about another great topic that we all thought would be a great topic to sit down and talk to. We got quite the panel here. We got Ronice and we got the Pro Joe. So on this episode, we're going to talk about those obscure, maybe not necessarily obscure per se, bands, albums, something that you don't normally listen to that maybe might be in your bank of music, but not something that you would kind of listen to normally. You know, not part of your
normal. Like under the radar.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. So, sitting in on the panel with us for this episode of obscure, whatever you want to call it, music. Yeah, we'll go with obscure music. Is the Pro Joe, Professor Joe. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. It's always cool to talk about music. I'm down the shore right now, so I was out for a little bit during the afternoon and then came back, and now I get to talk about some cool underground behind the scenes music we all like, so it'll be cool to talk about that.
Awesome sauce, man. So you were catching a baseball game, if I recall, yeah?
Yeah, it was the Cardinals won the one game, and then the game that came on after that I didn't really pay attention to as much, but I think the Braves were up 2-0. Something like that.
Okay. Well,
by the time the second game came on, I was mostly just talking to the different bartenders I do and people at the place and not really caring about what we do.
So not really much paying attention, but still on vacation. Look at that. And even on vacation, he is taking on and coming on and doing a show, and that's awesome sauce, and we love that. And that just goes to show you the dedication of the folks here,
and we appreciate it.
That's right. And also, ladies and gentlemen, sitting in on the panel on to the best side is Ronice. How are you, Ronice?
I'm hot. I'm glad it's summer. I really am, but it's those first really hot days that just make me go, I'm ready for winter.
Do you have the air conditioning on?
What'd you say?
Do you have the air conditioning on?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the air conditioning is definitely on, for sure.
I have to say thank you to being blessed with air conditioning, so.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? But it's still like, it's so oppressive outside. Like it's
you know where it's not like that?
Well, obviously where Joe is.
No, Arizona. Because you know why? It's a dry heat. Sorry, it's a joke.
That's true. There was a random day. I remember before I went down the shore, I think it was a few days before, maybe 3 or 4 days. The heat back at home was a dry heat. I remember that because I remember talking to one of my friends. They're like, oh, it's just a weird heat for back at home. Usually this is more down south. And it was like a more dry heat and not a humid heat. And you're like, oh.
Yeah, see.
Interesting.
But, an oven is still an oven, so it's still hot.
I'm sorry, but when it's triple digits, I don't really care to be anywhere in that particular type of environment. Okay, whether it feels like 104 degrees or it is 104 degrees. Okay, I don't care.
Well, if it is, it's probably going to feel like about 140. So.
Okay, there you go. All right.
Back to the music.
Back to the music. And back to the music. So, let's start off, because we are gentlemen. We will start with ladies first.
Okay.
Okay. So, we know everybody has their, select group of normal music that they listen to on a regular basis.
Mainstream stuff.
Your mainstream is what we're talking about. Yeah. So your mainstream might not necessarily be what Joe's mainstream is,
I'm sure it's not.
might not necessarily be what Steele's mainstream
Yeah.
is. You know what I mean? So everybody's got their mainstream. Okay, so something that's under your radar that's not part of your mainstream.
Okay. You ready?
Okay, yeah.
All right. It's a little bit odd, but I'm going with it. So, Kenny Loggins, you know.
I like that already.
Okay.
Did a children's album.
Oh my gosh.
Called Return to Pooh Corner.
You're kidding.
No. And it is like we used to play it when I worked in daycare. We used to play it at nap time, so everybody go sleep. And I just really like listening to it because it's very sweet. It's very...
You mean Winnie the Pooh, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
One of the songs is about how when he was a kid, he would play with Winnie the Pooh when he grew up.
Okay.
And now his son is doing some of the same things. That's kind of where you get the Return to Pooh Corner from.
Okay.
And it's really it's one of those albums, just it's very sweet and easy to listen to, and it's very comforting to me, I guess.
Okay.
And I try to send that album to anybody who's having a baby. I send them the CD or something just because.
Okay.
I just think it's a great.
All right.
I'll have to check that out because Kenny Loggins in general is awesome, but I never listened to anything like that. Yeah.
Well, you know that the guy from Devo, right? Mike Mothersbaugh is the guy that did.
He's reaching back.
Yeah, yeah. I can't think of it. He does this cartoon, or he's part of this cartoon that's on Nickelodeon or something. That he's a writer or producer or something like that. And oh gosh, I can't. I mean, Devo is another one of those bands that, I mean, that's a once in a lifetime song. Whip It. Right, but then you look at what some of those other people did, and
so he did.
What's it called?
He did Yo Gabba Gabba.
Okay.
I don't know if I can't pull it up. It doesn't tell me if it was he just did the music or if he produced it.
Okay.
But he also looks like he was involved with the Rugrats movie.
That's it. That's it.
Okay. Hotel Transfer.
Yeah, that's Nickelodeon. Yeah. Rugrats is Nickelodeon.
Right, that's the one I couldn't think. That's the Nickelodeon one that was Rugrats.
Yeah.
They're about little kids, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, but so I mean, he's one that's done, other stuff outside of
with
his genre of music. You know what I mean? So that's why like Kenny Loggins. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To come out with that one off the gun, man. Woo! Hey, all right. I'm interested to hear what.
Obviously it's a kid's album, so don't expect real heavy lyrics.
I'm all right. It's gonna be more like I'm going to bed.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, but it's a very sweet album, and it's very easy to listen to when you're, if you're having a bad day and you just want to listen to something that's maybe comforting. That's a good one for that. So, I'm gonna throw it over to Joe for his first idea or obscure or under the radar item. What do you think, Joe?
Yeah, my first item is the band I always liked. I saw them at Theater of the Living Arts, Electric Factory, and whatever the name of that other place is in a random band neighborhood of Philadelphia. But I saw them at those three different places. The band Yellow Card, because they have a cool different vibe to their rock and roll, because there's a violin. Well, they're broken up now, but they're coming back for this festival in a couple of months. But they have a violinist in their music, which makes a different sound.
Really?
Rock and roll music. So it's kind of cool to have that mixed in with normal rock and roll music. So,
what are they called again?
Yellow Card.
Yellow Card. YELOWCARD.
That sounds so familiar to me, and I don't think I've.
The one song everybody knows from the shore, because it's called Ocean Avenue. where it's like there's a place on Ocean Avenue where I used to speak and talk with you. I can't. I was first 16 and it felt so right. I was sleeping all day and staying up all night. That's like, like this. So
let's see. I'll see if I'm on the one. There's a place of Ocean Avenue where I used to sit and talk with you. We were both 16 and it felt so right, sleeping all day, staying up all night. There's a place in the corner of Cherry Street.
Yeah, that's the yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
I'll have
it.
to listen
That's
to that
it.
one.
Yeah, okay. I got that here too. It's Ocean Avenue is the name of the song, right?
That's like a beach song. So like that's the most popular song because that's like a tailgate song or a beach song that people listen to down the shore. So
yeah.
Okay. So, but
it's one that it's a good song to listen to when you're outside and you're relaxed and having a good time.
Well, let me ask you this:
probably sipping on a martini or a margarita or something.
You're at the beach. You've got to have something in a bottle.
Well,
they put those in a bottle now too. So.
Oh, that's true.
Okay, well,
or a can.
Okay, so in the islands, right? Because that's quote unquote, they're not states; they're territories. So.
Right.
Yeah, like the Cayman or the Virgin Islands.
Yes, right. So you can walk around with your beverage wherever you want to go, wherever you want to do. You can walk around with your beverage.
Well, you can do that in like Las Vegas or New Orleans.
Yeah, there's some places in the States you're not supposed to do that, but they really don't give a flying crap.
Yeah, they don't really enforce it.
Yeah,
well, I mean, really when you got
like down the shore, they don't care. Like Sea Isle, they care, but like in Strathmere, you could probably walk out of Twisties with them.
Okay.
It also depends on the week too, because if it's like senior week or something, they're going to be cracking down and.
Yeah, exactly.
Dry areas. There's some dry areas in some of the states, where some of the shores are.
Mm-hmm.
At least
Ocean City.
Yeah, at least on the eastern seaboard, there's some dry areas there too. Where you can't. So
anyway, we're tangenting again.
Yeah, I know.
I'm inventing words.
Tangenting. Tangent. We're going off on a tangent again.
Sorry.
We started off with Yellow Card and so.
Well, Steele, what's your first? That would be the next person. What's your first thing?
All right, so I was introduced to this band by a friend of mine, and he was like, "Yeah, man, you should check this out. It's pretty good tunes." And he actually was part of the same group of people that turned me on to Nine Inch Nails. So I was like, "Oh, all right, I'll tune in and listen and see what was what." I was like, "Wow, all right, cool." And then they played in a local place in Lancaster at the Chameleon.
Oh, I miss the Chameleon.
Yeah, right. So they played there twice actually. Played there twice. And got to go see him there twice. And
but what's the name of the band?
The name of the band is called Visual Audio Sensory Theater, or VAST, VAST. And they've only put out really one commercially successful type album, if you could call it that, but he's put out
other music.
Yeah.
Okay.
Still under the same band name and everything, you know what I mean? Just some different lineup folks. But in fact, the one song,
what? Can you describe VAST? Like what kind of music would you?
Well, from the one song. Well, the one song is actually my ringtone.
Well, we know that. But...
Well, okay. So, but I like I said, it's like it's a little bit industrial. It's a little bit folk. There's like a lot of heavy guitar. There's some good beat. There's some good singing. He's got good. I mean, the guy's basically a one-man band.
I was gonna say you're gonna talk about how he kind of did everything.
Yeah, and then he basically hired people to come in and play the music.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like he played all the different instruments and then mixed it all himself. And he was like in his late teens when he first hit the wave, right?
Mm-hmm.
And is probably up there with some of the better guitarists, I would say, instrumentalists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an interesting. The one album it's actually a really good album. I do enjoy listening to it.
Yeah.
Um,
Some good songs on it.
Yeah.
But it's. So then I thought, well, man, I didn't realize that, he still put out some music.
Right.
Up until I think the last thing he stopped putting out music was like 2017.
Okay.
Right? So, all right, that's not that far long ago.
No.
Yeah, it's not that far. Yeah, that's only.
Yeah,
5 years ago, years.
Yeah, and so I tuned into a later music that they've released, and I was like, well, hey, all right, this still sounds pretty freaking good.
Right.
Well, I mean, if you're like into that group, like Yellow Card, for example, like Ocean Avenue is like a mainstream song. That's not even close to one of my favorite songs by Yellow Card. That's just a song that
right
everybody in the populace knows. Where like there's a bunch of other songs that, like, for me, just being a fan of the band, I would rather listen to than Ocean Avenue.
So is it one of those things where they have one really good song that is completely different than all the
like,
other?
Yeah. Like Ocean Avenue is a song that's like known. It's played on probably 93.3 MMR, 104.5, like all the local stations. If you put rock or alternative stations on, it'll probably play every so often. So like, that's like that song. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So we've got Kenny Loggins, we got Vast, and we got Yellow Card so far. So now I guess we're back to Ronies. And look, Kenny Loggins is not necessarily an under the radar type of an artist. I mean, he's pretty well known.
I know, but this album particularly, I think.
No. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's what falls into that.
I'm not sure.
Falls into that category, though.
There may be a lot of parents that are familiar with it because But
well, yeah, but I mean,
like for example, another thing that would fit into that, Billy Joe Armstrong's not under the radar. He's a singer of a band in the freaking Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and Green Day. But the folk music he does on the side, that's under the radar.
Exactly. So, it can be just somebody's doing something a little different than what they're known for.
No, I get it. No, I understand. I mean, that's why, like, it was when you would see, I mean, I think Elvis was probably one of the first ones that was doing that. Like, he would do, because he was, he was, Elvis the Pelvis. Right, and he was, Blue Suede Shoes and Jailhouse Rock and blah, blah, blah. But yet he started gospel and he did Christmas music and he did, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, he did stadium rock before there was stadium rock. I mean, you know what I mean? I'm just saying, though, like, you could look at Elvis as being one of those type of people that, would be like, oh, hey, yeah, I can do this, and just would go and do it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, that's how I feel like that's how a lot of people are in the music industry, because John Mayer says the same thing. John Mayer will learn 6 freaking hours before his set list how to play a blues song and go, okay, cool, I got to learn how to just do this, this, and this, and then play flawlessly for 6 hours straight with some random blues band. Yeah. So, like, it's like there's just certain guys that like Dave Grohl's the same way. Like that's why the Foo Fighters released an album, a horror movie, and a Bee Gees tribute album in the span of COVID because Dave Grohl can't sit still.
By the way, did you see the movie?
I didn't see it yet. I'm probably gonna watch it soon. Why, did you see it?
No, I just wanted to know because I wanted to. I'm interested in it, but I don't know if I can handle it. So I wanted to know.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna watch it soon. Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. I've heard Dave talk about it like 85 times, but I haven't watched the movie yet. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So who is your next?
Well,
we went off on another tangent there. Sorry.
This is maybe not as obscure as I think it is, but it's one of the ones that it took me a while because I'd hear it on the radio once in a while and be like, oh, I really like that song. And then I couldn't figure out like who sang it, because by the time I would be in my car or something, and by the time I got home, I forgot about it. So the next time I heard it, like a year later, I do the same. It would just repeat itself. So I finally figured out who it was, and it was Stone Sour. And they have 2 songs that I really like, and one of them is Bother, and the other one is, and I'm blanking on it, and I'm sorry.
Okay.
Corey Taylor from Slipknot is one of his side bands. Actually, it was his first band, and then
I like that group. They're a solid under the radar band. Yeah.
Through Glass, or Through the Glass is the other song that I really like.
That song. Yeah, that song's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. So
both of them are top 4, I think, on their all-time like listeners hits. Through the Glass, I think, is 1. And then Bother, I want to say, is either 5th or 4th, probably.
Yeah, probably. But again, those 2 songs they're a little harder than I think those 2 songs represent them to be. So, but I do enjoy them. And I know he came back for a while. I think 2017 was their last album. So I haven't heard much since then. So that's
I think he's mostly focused on his main his main side of things now than Stone Sour. But yeah, they always were a solid side group. I feel like people that are that talented, if they do side groups, are bound to be successful.
Yeah, because they can just carry it with them. So
I mean, all you have to do is
exactly.
All you have to do is look at Maynard.
Yeah, Maynard did the same thing.
I mean, yeah.
Chris Cornell also did the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Gerard Way did the same thing, because he only stopped My Chemical Romance because Mikey Way was a drug addict and was going to go down a bad road. And then he started doing solo music, and now they're bringing back My Chemical Romance to multi-thousands of people crowds because everyone's hyped that they're back. So, and now the tickets are like $500. So it ended up working out for them in the end. So.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess, man. Jeez, man.
Okay, Joe, you're up. What you got for us?
Well, I would say my second one would probably be, this one's a song more than a band, because the overall band I don't necessarily listen to. But there's a song by this guy called Crowder, who's like this country acoustic rock guy, like soft rock guy. That's called Red Letters. That's like this gospel rock song. And it's a cool rock song because, what, Red Letters are basically like, I think most people that are listening to this probably know what red letters mean.
Yeah.
But it makes it spin somehow into a positive side of it. So it's like a weird song that's like so cool, where like overall I don't really listen to him, but that specific song by Crowder, Red Letters, is kind of like one of those under the radar songs for me.
It's funny, sometimes you have you not necessarily listen to everything the artist does, but they do 1 or 2 things and you're like, yeah, I can deal with that, I like that, but that's cool.
Yeah, but the overall person you're not gonna I guess vibe with or something. But you're gonna like 3, 4, 5 songs.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
that means that you can't just write everybody when you're listening or you hear something. You can't just write it off because I don't like that artist. You got to give them a chance to see what else they can do. Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, I don't think I said this on my podcast, but granted, this side of our family, that's a whole thing. But my uncle's 5th cousin, I want to say, is the Swift family. So, technically, is the Swift family. That Taylor Swift.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, my uncle's 5th cousins on the Swift family.
Okay, I gotcha.
So you're saying you have rhythm?
Well, I remember we went into the one place in Seattle, and we're like, oh, yeah, she played right up on that stage. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Because she grew up in this area.
Yeah, no, I know.
I didn't realize that.
Oh, yeah. Okay. She's from Westchester, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, huh?
I guess I never pictured her here.
In fact,
she's very
her or I guess up until recently, I think her dad or somebody was still residing there. Yeah.
You know, I
Yeah,
like
yeah. He
Taylor
was
Swift.
until like the last 2 years. Yeah, like the
And
last 2 years, I think.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Up until recently, there was somebody, her family still living there. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Okay. That's cool.
Well, hey, there you go. So, all right. So Joe did a song, and right, and I don't know, man. I have such a catalog of eclectic tastes that I could throw out there, and maybe this is kind of maybe it's more of a known, I guess, instead of a under the radar thing. I don't know. I tend to listen to them. I try to listen to them more, maybe, I guess.
Okay.
Right?
It kind of follows along the same message as Red Letters too. So yeah, go ahead.
Well, where do you think I'm going?
I'm thinking you're frying something up.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
Okay. I was originally gonna go with.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I thought of another band that I was gonna go with, and I think I'm gonna go with as my number 3.
Okay.
But number 2 for me, I think, is gonna be Skillet.
Okay.
And when they first hit, it was like didn't really realize who they were.
We didn't really get introduced. We actually got introduced to them when we went to a concert to see Shinedown. And they were like the first opening band. You know, you have the smaller group and then the opener and then, Shinedown. So they were like the third band we saw. And
yeah, because there was like.
It was Shinedown, Puddle of Mud, and Skillet were the 3 bands.
Skillet open, okay.
Yeah.
That's actually a really awesome line.
Right.
It was a great.
It was a great show, man.
Really
oh
was.
my god.
Like I told Steele this before. I don't think I told you, Ronice, but when I went to see the Imagine Dragons at their first album concert, which their singer is awesome live, but I saw them and I saw Halsey before she was popular.
Oh wow.
Wow. Okay.
It was like when she had her EP out and everything. She didn't have her first album out yet.
Wow, there you go. That's pretty messed up, man.
But Skillet is, they have some really, really cool.
Their albums, their music is very like inspirational.
Yeah.
And it's
but
like.
Then they have those combined songs
yes.
They have inspiration, but then they have like Monster, and then like a couple other songs that just go hard, and you're just like, oh.
Exactly. You know what I mean?
I call them like they remind me of like what you'd listen to at a hockey rink, when it's like hype music.
There you go. That's a great way to put that.
Some of it is.
Yeah, you hear Skillet. You hear Skillet at hockey rinks, whether it's the minor leagues or.
I was just gonna say,
yeah.
Yeah. I believe I know I've heard Skillet at some of the hockey rinks, in between face-offs and stuff like that when they're playing music. I'm like, oh, hey, that's a Skillet song. You know what I mean?
But that's the thing is people may not realize who that is. You know what I mean?
No, I'm with you though. But that's what I mean though. And but I really just kind of I really dig the music. I really dig the melody. I like the hard crunching, guitars with the double bass, and then you know what I mean. It gives me that heavy metal vibe without necessarily being heavy metal. I mean,
right?
Would that be a way to? How would you describe that? You know what I mean? Like,
well, they just have a big range.
Right. Okay. There you go. I mean, they can do. I mean, whatever.
They do really nice ballads. They do really nice rock.
Yeah. All right.
Well, Hero's like a harder ballad.
Yeah.
It's like a weird, it's like a harder song, but still a ballad at the same time.
Yeah.
Right.
Like I need a hero. road.
Yeah.
That's not a hard rock song. Like that's like the lyrics are a ballad, but it's like a harder sounding song.
It's a hair band ballad.
There you go.
A power ballad. That's the word.
Power ballad. Yeah,
There
it's a stadium rock. Like that's kind of what they remind me of. I would definitely associate them with like hype music for sure. You know, there should definitely be some goal songs involved in some stuff that Skillet does. You know what I mean? Come on, man.
It would be better. Never mind. I won't go there.
Anyway, that's my second band.
Gotcha.
Was frying up in a skillet. And
nice. I like that one. I always liked Skillet. I've tried to go to one of their concerts, but it got it didn't get rained out, but I had lawn season.
Okay. Well, that's who I found out who they were and was like, wow, man. Who was that first band that we saw? Because I already knew who Puddle of Mud was, and I've already, I had their album and whatever.
That's in June, I want to say it's the 23rd, at this place, the Keswick Theater near me. We're seeing Everclear, who's been around for a while, but then the other band's called The Fastball, and I can't remember the third band, but there's three bands, and I started listening to all of them. We're obviously Everclear, is more recognizable, where
we do.
The other two are pretty good too. So I was like, oh, that's going to be pretty cool. But that's they were a group I was thinking of bringing up, but I'm like, well, Everclear's kind of known, so I can't really bring that up in under the radar. But yeah.
Well, so now we saw them in concert because they opened for Evanescence.
Who, Everclear?
Yes. At Santander when we went to Santander.
Gotcha. Yeah, I remember, yeah.
Yeah.
That's an interesting open for...
Yeah, well, but so.
It was an interesting concert.
It was an interesting concert, that's to say that. We had fun. It was great,
Yeah, because those are different styles. Those aren't in the same lane at all.
Hey, I'm just trying to... That's what the concert
was. Yeah, I know. I'm just saying.
Yeah. All right. So we got a second one from all of the panel, and we'll do our last selection. Your third selection of under the radar, obscure, not really always something that you would normally listen to.
Well, I've mentioned this before, and I know we've talked about it before, but I still want to put it out there.
All right.
I still love the Who. The Hue.
Oh, the Hue. Oh, yeah. Your Mongolian
rock band.
Rock band.
I mean, I know that they've done some some English versions with Jacoby. My brain hurts. I can't remember his last name now. Who's Jacoby? Lizzie Hale from Hailstorm did one song with them.
Okay. I know who you mean now. All right, I got you.
Yeah.
And I can't think of it.
There's one other one they did, but I can't remember who it is.
But they've done some Americanized versions.
Yeah, so they have them in the background, and they do the English version of the song. So, I mean, like I said, we've talked about them before, but still one of my favorites. So. And
they are pretty obscure, to be honest with you. They are pretty under the radar because.
Yeah, but when you got Lizzie Hale or Jacoby Myers or.
Yeah, you would think, but still, though, they just kind of seem like they might be under the radar, maybe, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it might be one of those things where you've heard it, or I just called the wrong name. I just realized that. But anyway, you've heard it, but you didn't realize what it was. So.
Okay, I mean, that might be the case.
So anyway, that's mine. Real quick one.
All right. Well, there you go.
So we'll throw it over to Joe.
For your
for your next check.
My last one would probably be, I don't think they released anything, and I'm trying to pull it up on Spotify to see, but It's this band that I listened to while growing up. They're called Boys Like Girls, which is like a pop rock band that I listened to when I was in grade school. And for flashback reasons on occasion, I'll still listen to. Their last album was Crazy World EP, which was 2012. So yeah, they haven't released anything since 2012, so they've been going for a minute. But they were always just cool grade school dance, like high school dance, like. So it was a group I listened to more when I was younger, but still for like nostalgic feelings, will sometimes listen to. So they were always a cool group. They were a cool group in the sense of like if they came back, even though I don't listen to them on the regular anymore, I should be like, well, I'm definitely going to that show because I listened to them on the regular when I was growing up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool. Well, there you go, man.
It's always good it makes you feel, nostalgic and,
See,
yeah, like Fall Out Boy, like Hella Mega Tour with Fall Out Boy, Weezer, and Green Day. When I was listening to Fall Out Boy, I felt like I was back in grade school.
I'm kind of jealous about that one. I'm sorry. I think I would like that concert. That was probably really good. I'm a big Weezer fan, so I don't know.
See, that's kind of like. Here's a little fun fact for you.
What's up?
Is that when you start looking at all of the music that we've selected, for the most part, they might be obscure, but they're all things that are either from our past or B, something that reminds us of good memories. Do you know what I mean? Like every single show that we've done has all been like good memories associated with all the music that we've talked about. I mean, I'm assuming so, right, Joe? Right?
Well, for now, I mean, for now,
yeah.
I mean, if people want the other side of it, I mean, I have a bunch.
Well, yeah, we all have our,
So like
negativity in the world. We don't need to.
Right, we all have our dark folder or our, the folder that we open up and that you're having a bad day and you need that folder that instead of
Rage Against the Machine.
Right. Okay. Well. Okay. See, there you go. Right.
We were going a different way where it was like songs that you hear on the radio and you can't turn it off fast enough.
Oh no, not
save music like that.
No, but like if you're in the car and a song comes on, you're like, ah.
Oh, I'm only like that with commercials. Way. No, anyway.
Oh yeah, with commercials.
Oh gosh. Okay.
I don't want to buy a car. Apparently, only car commercials are on radio right now.
Okay. That brings Joe to his third selection.
That was his third one.
Right. So that leaves me with my third selection.
Correct.
All right.
Well, you think? Can I tell you an interesting fact I learned this week?
Do tell.
Because apparently my husband knows everything. Needles from Back to the Future.
So the bassist of
Red Hot Chili Peppers. I did not know that. And now he's in the new Obi-Wan, or he was in the first second.
Oh yeah, Flea, you mean?
Flea, yes, thank you.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, that's not the same person. He's like, yeah, it was. And he was right.
No, my friend called me. Literally, it was like 3 a.m. one night. No, I just watched Obi-Wan. Did you know Fleet was in that movie?
It was just so weird.
No, I didn't, but I also could highly care less. Right.
He said he could highly care less. Okay. Well, gotta write that one down. I gotta write that down. Highly care less. All right. No, I don't have to think long and hard about this one. This one's easy for me. That would be Typo Negative.
Okay.
Don't always get a chance to listen to these guys, but and they only really did like 2 or 3 albums. October Rust was one, and Cinnamon Girl, I think, was the other one. I can't think if that was the name of that one or not. But Anyway, I know that the one of them was called October Rust, and then the not too well, maybe 5 or so years ago, the lead singer of the band actually passed away. He had, yeah, he had some kind of there was something wrong with him or something, and he passed away. And so yeah, I think they only did 2 albums.
They actually did more than that.
Really? How many did you do? 3?
About 8.
Oh, 8? Okay. With the same.
I can't tell. I just pulled it up on Google.
Let me see. Let me see the list. Okay, Bloody Kisses was the other one. October Rust. 07.
It looks like they were the one that you're talking about. I think is
the first 2.
Yeah, the first 2 albums.
Yes, the first 2 albums are the Bloody Kisses and October Rust.
Right.
Okay, so those are.
And then they probably switched singers to keep going.
No, actually, they didn't because
they just kind of broke up, I think.
Yeah, and then they came back together or something, and then the guy, I think he died because of liver failure.
Okay.
Or something like that, and so yeah, it's not like the guy had health issues, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But you might want to describe what the band is, like what.
Oh, they're like heavy goth.
Yeah.
Real heavy goth.
Dark
goth, just like. No, I would say more theatrical goth.
All right.
You know what I mean? Because
goth can cross on. Is it like straight up goth music, or is it like goth mixed? Because goth and emo kind of blend together.
Yeah, they're not. I wouldn't call them emo.
No, I wouldn't either. No, because they have there's a lot more rock in it than goth.
Yeah.
It's more of a rock, heavy metal rock with goth undertones. Does that? Would you?
Okay.
Yeah, that works.
Okay, yeah, that would. Okay, but it's some pretty chill music. It's not something that is gonna fire me up and make me want to go jump through walls or anything. It's not hype music,
No.
It's not Skillet, I'm not pumping Skillet through the earphones to get all hyped or get ready for a show or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's interesting music.
Very interesting music.
Very dark.
It's almost, some of it's almost like melodically hypnotic.
Yeah, I can give you that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there's this one group called the Birds and the Bees, where the male singer of the group, because it's a duo, where they're very melodic. The last couple albums of the Foo Fighters, like the most recent one, he helped produce, and that's why the style kind of shifted to being more melodic, mixed with their hard rock style in the last couple albums, because they had the guy that was basically one of the creators of the Birds and the Bees that are very melodic, helping them with their music. So it had that cool melodic undertone with the rock and roll, which is exactly what Dave Grohl said he wanted. He said, I don't want the same crap anymore. I want a different sound in the next couple albums with more melodic stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a good idea for. I'm going on a tangent, but I think it's a good idea for Foo Fighters, because they have that very specific sound, and if they just keep doing that, it's not going to. You're going to get tired of it, So
Making a Fire. If you listen to the song on the newest album, which I want to say is called Wasting Light, maybe, but if you listen to the song Making a Fire, which is a really good song. Oh no, it's Medicine at Midnight is the newest album. Wasting Light's a couple albums ago.
Oh, okay.
But that song's really good, and that has that cool and it builds up, and that's not normally the Foo Fighters, where it has that cool undertone style. So that's a cool newer style, and even Sonic Highways. A lot of people didn't like that album because it didn't sound like a Foo Fighters, but I thought it was just kind of a cool, new sounding album. But I don't always like that. If you sound new, you have to do it right. I thought when Green Day did it with Uno, Dos, and Trace, they failed. There was only a few songs on Uno, Dos, and Trace that, in my opinion, that were actually worth listening to.
Yeah.
And that's between 3 albums. So, like, I think you have to do it right, so to speak.
Yeah, you have to make it really good, but yeah. But growing is good, I guess.
For sure, man. There you go.
So we
each of us got to pick
3.
3.
Yes.
Right? And so I really think that we touched on, gosh, a number of different genres of music, all the way across the board. Do you know what I mean? And look, whatever you guys think, I mean, what is your most obscure album that's on your playlists? What do you guys have that, you listen to that is not on the normal?
Or that you think people should be aware of?
Well, yeah, I mean, all these different types of obscure types or under the radar types, they shouldn't necessarily be under the radar. I mean, they caught your attention for a minute, right? You know what I mean?
I agree.
I mean, I don't know. What
well,
do you think?
People want to listen to the one album that Green Day singer Billy Joe. It's with the folk singer Norah Jones, who's actually really popular in the folk crowd. And she did an album in 2013 called Foreverly, which that's the album. Roving Gambler, I would say, is probably one of the better songs on there. But that's the album that Billy Joe Armstrong crossed over with one of the better folk artists to do folk music. Because he said that's actually what he kind of listened to growing up. Oddly enough, one of the biggest punk rock stars in the world grew up listening to folk music also.
Well, they didn't necessarily have punk rock back then.
Yes, they did. He's not that old.
Okay, well.
In fact, he kind of missed the punk era altogether, but
Yeah, well.
Anyway.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah. So, my 3 were Kenny Loggins' Return to Pooh Corner, and then I did The Who, and I also did Stone Sour. So those were my 3 kind of on the radar. What were your 3, Steele?
Okay, my 3 were, the first one was Vast.
Yes.
Right? That's visual, audio, sensory theater. Vast. Second one was Out of the Frying Pan and Into the Skillet. And my final one was
Typo Negative. Yeah.
So.
All right. How about you, Joe? What were your 3?
Yeah, my first one was Yellow Card, which is the band with the cool violin in the background. The second was one song by this guy, Crowder, who's like country gospel, called Red Letters, which is pretty cool. And then the third was a band I kind of more grew up listening to, but still listen to on the regular, more so grew up listening to because they haven't released anything since 2012, is Boys Like Girls. So
okay.
Group to grow up listening to.
That's awesome.
Awesome, man. That's awesome. Man, how about that? Cool beans, man. Well, that's 3 each from each of our panel here, and I think we covered, like I said, quite a lot of genres as far as that's concerned. You know what I mean? Let us know what you guys think. Let us know what your obscure music band is that you don't necessarily listen to on the normal. You know what I mean? And let us know. Be happy to hear from you guys and everything like that. Please hit the like and subscribe and let us know what you think, man. We really appreciate you guys hopping on and joining in. Joe, any last comments?
No, I thank everybody for joining. Continue to hit the sub button over on our YouTube to keep us growing over there, and on Spotify as well. We really appreciate you guys for listening for what is now the 4th episode of the show. So yeah, because we did 2 with Euro Needs Some Steel, and then I did 1 with Pirlo, which was that like car bands.
Yeah, some of that. That was pretty cool, man. That was some cool music.
So we did that one as well, which was, I believe, the 3rd episode, and then the 4th would be this one. So I do too much stuff to remember how we call it. I just know that it's all out there.
There you go, man. There
all
you go.
genre music fest.
For sure, for sure. Please hit the like and subscribe. We will catch you all on the next show of the All Genre Music Fest. This is Steel Flyers saying so long and catch you on the next episode.